J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt says he is not in it for the money, but the man has a $15 million, $16 million salary cap on his head, pretty much. You have that familiarity. Let's keep it real. We have Shane Bowen, who's coming up from Houston Texans, and we have Anthony Midget, who was their secondary coach in Houston as well. Now remember, we got Jonathan Joseph that came over, who would sooner or later be let go, which really wasn't a fair kind of trade. And now we also have Jim Haslett, our linebacking core coach, who's coming from Cincinnati Bengals. Why do we have this familiarity coming around like it is a Houston Texans defensive showroom? Because Mike Vrabel had put it on himself this entire year. He tried to run this Houston Texans style defensive organization with the way Bill O'Brien had it. GM, head coach, and offensive play caller. I believe he also was taking care of the trading as well. Now we want to put all that aside for now, because J.J. Watt goes two ways here. One, first thing, he's all about the attitude, the projection of what's going on in the organization, the weight room, the practice field, practicing, tempo, attitude, adjustments, everything that he talks about is what every coach would want in their team locker room. That presence, that veteran presence, which we did not have here in Tennessee. Coach needs to understand a lot of these things that he's doing isn't going to benefit the team, because it was a lot of band-aid moves. We went the cheap route kind of here, and that's the unfortunate side. Do you think Tannehill still is our priority quarterback? I don't think he is. There was glimpses where he was great, and I wanted to say, yes, that's my quarterback. But let's be honest, there was just some things there where Tannehill could have been better in. He could have thrived better in some of these scenarios and certain situations where we were 3-and-out and 4-and-out, and we're depending on a wounded band-aid of a defense to step up in a high demand area. Can we afford him? We're going to have to lose some people. That's the bad thing about this, is are we going to be able to afford him? Because he is asking a lot of money. 15, 16 million. I hope it's over 5 to 7 years, because it will be 5 to 7 years. Defensive ends are almost as bad as, I want to say, is the counterpart opposite of a cornerback, because it's so disposable. We have so many people out and so many people needed. It's really something to think about. Now, Jack Crawford will probably leave. We'll probably have Malcolm Butler come down off of his contract, because he's going to need to. And Malcolm played great. He's one of the number ones I had on this season, besides Big Jeff, who did shell out. So if we bring J.J. Watt in, Clowney would probably go, because we still have Harold Landry, and I believe we have one more year with Landry. We still have to pay Jayon Brown. I don't think he's going to be getting, I believe what he's projected, 11 to 12 million. Maybe we get him at a discount. The unfortunate side about this across the league is this is going to be a pandemic year. It's going to be interesting to see where players go, if they're going to go that money route, or are they going to go for the playing route? Are they going to chase that ring? And at the same time, you really can't argue with someone who's going after the money, but they got to be productive in some sort of instances. You can't be like Matt Milano and out of the Bills and expect to be paid so much with an injury list that's going to go on and on and on. I mean, J.J. Watt's the same way. You could just understand something with that Houston showroom where, yes, he has this great big speech. He wants to talk about the successes, the downfalls, how we can get this Texans organization moving. But you probably have people in the background too, like, come on, man. This is the first year you show up to play a little bit, We got a little production. And then the past, 1 or 2 years, you was gone, you was out, you was hurt. JJ Watt's going to have to take some off of that offer there. I don't even know who offered 15 to 16 million. I guarantee it was nobody in the AFC South, well, besides the Jaguars, but we already know. JJ Watt wants to go to a place where he has that, I want to say, that cushion, that leeway to be in a position to succeed, to get that ring, because the man is going to be 32 this year. Not many of these defensive ends are getting these big contracts anymore. And I hate to say it, they're almost compared to a running back. These running backs aren't getting, and these defensive ends aren't getting 4 or 5 year big contracts like they used to, because of so many injuries and this pandemic. I predict we're going to offer JJ something very small, something reasonable, and if we do, this will be that year where he's going to have to earn his money. He's going to have to earn his take. He's going to have to earn every bit of his speech that he had gone off on the press. Now, why I say familiarity is because he has Shane Bowen here. We have Anthony Midget. We have Mike Vrabel to help bring him and put him in the position that he needs to be in our play scheme. We're going to be running a 3-4 again. Let's just be real on that because of our coaching tree. Now, this is going to be the tricky part, and I want everyone to follow along as much as you can because this is going to be explained to the best of my ability. So, Shane Bowen in 2010 was named the defensive position something in Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech now, 2010, Tennessee Titans draft Derek Morgan of Georgia Tech. Hold on to that. Full circle. That's 2010 to 2012. 2013, 2012, Urban Meyer gets hired by Ohio State. Mike Vrabel is in Ohio State as well. Urban Meyer picks up, I want to say, Shane Bowen then is named a defensive assistant or something like that. Just like a position kind of coach again, just someone just down the tree. That's where he worked with Mike Vrabel. In 2015, they went undefeated. And they were actually named the top 3 in the nation that year. No, 2013. I want to say 2013. Fast forward to the, I believe 2014 or 14, Vrabel enters the NFL as Houston Texans outside linebacker and defensive coach, basically, in general. Now, he's working with Bill O'Brien. Shane Bowen is picked up under a new school, Kennesaw University or something like that. It was a first-year program for one of the schools there, which they did go 6-5 and 5-6, something of that other. It's one of the lower schools, but they ended up picking up, I believe, a little championship their 2015 year, which later on he joins Mike Vrabel in Houston as a defensive assistant or something like that, whatever Bill O'Brien had in that tree. Now, Vrabel leaves after their name 2016. They struggled their first year there. Mike Vrabel was the defensive coordinator. 2015. 2016 was mediocre. I mean, who do you expect? He was going up against Marcus Mariota, an injured on and off Marcus Mariota with Fitzpatrick here. Remember when we had Fitzpatrick here and we had Blaine Gabbert here as well? Shout out to them for moving on. Because right now, they wouldn't have started. They wouldn't have got any licks whatsoever with Ryan Tannehill in the lineup, you know. And our backup, whoever our backup is, you know, I still have no faith in him at all. That's another story in itself. Now we have Mike Vrabel and Shane Bowen come back, totally redeemed themselves in the 2016 resume for the Texans, and they're named, I believe they had like the fewest named the fewest score allowed. It was a little over 300 for the Texans organization in general. And then they had the toughest third down defense as well. Now keep in mind, that's when they had Clowney and J.J. Watt on that same side there. This is before Bill O'Brien trades Jadeveon Clowney to bring in more help on the offensive side for Deshaun Watson. Picks up Kenny Stills on the offensive side to help with the ball for Hopkins, right? And then he picks up Laramie Tunsil with a huge contract. Doesn't have an agent. He just has somebody who's just standing there. Well, we're just professionals. We don't carry an agent name, but you know damn well we getting paid. Let's just call it like it is, man. And he's getting a ridiculous amount of money. You know damn well the Texans organizations are probably bringing their prices down. Maybe that's why everybody's leaving town. Maybe that's why not everybody's happy, is because Bill O'Brien had so much involvement within this organization that he was paying so many people so much money up front that they were like, you know, we have all these high name 4, 5, 6 people who are getting really high paid, and we are not getting anybody. We're doing dirt cheap, and now we don't have anybody. You know, I believe they end up letting Steele go midway through the season last year. And then you have a very overpaid Laramie Tunsil. I mean, he does his job and everything, but I don't think they're going to keep that contract with him. You know, I mean, do you think? I don't think so. Beside the point. Vrabel comes to Tennessee in 2018 after the 2017 season. Mediocre season with the Houston, right? Because they did go into the playoffs where they choked against Kansas City. I believe they're 24 down, and I don't know what happened. But we ended up picking up Vrabel. So now we said, hey, let's hire Coach Vrabel. Let's keep him on the staff here because we need to make some things happen. And then 10 days later, short time later, he brings on Shane Bowen. Here comes Shane Bowen again. Cannot keep away because we moved him to be our one of our defensive assistants somewhere, outside linebackers coach, something like that, with Vrabel as the head coach and Dean Pease as our defensive coordinator. So now you have this molded mind in Shane Bowen behind Bohannon, who was started at Kennesaw University, behind Urban Meyer, behind Mike Vrabel, behind Bill O'Brien, and behind Jim Haslett on his resume, behind Coach Dean Pease, learning all these schemes and everything like that, intertwining it into what we have today. What are we going to do about this defense? Because it is not working. It is not working. And maybe JJ is just that piece. Maybe JJ can come here and provide that missing link that we don't have. The personnel staff, because they did have it in Houston, right? They had Clowney. They had JJ Watt. There's more than 2 people to account for on that defense. Because now you have to scheme against players with the wrong personnel. JJ said it himself. He wants to go to an area where he wants to win a championship. He needs a steady environment. He needs that steady offensive side to put him in a possible position to win a championship. Who's going to give you that? Tennessee is, because we have Derrick Henry, who's just signed a contract, and we have Ryan Tannehill, who's just signed a contract. And I hope neither of them do this, what's going on in Houston, like, hey, we want out because we don't like Vrabes now. I wonder how that's going to turn out, but I just don't see it, you know. Of course, we lose Adam Humphries, you know. Well, we pick up Corey Davis, you know. I really hope so. I really hope so at a discount, please, you know, because that's the only way we're going to be able to afford him. I hate to say it, but we'll probably lose Jonnu Smith, you know. I think he's going to be picked up somewhere else to where he's going to want a few more licks. And the bad thing about this is he's going to have to go to the NFC side because everybody in the AFC is doing that run offense here now. Buffalo's going to be probably doing that here as well. So if anywhere, Corey would probably go over to Buffalo. Now, with Jonnu, I'm not sure who would shop Jonnu. I mean, Buffalo could shop Jonnu because, but that would make no sense because they're in a cap deficit themselves and Jonnu's priced pretty high. Will he get that? I mean, probably in another place where they can fill it, and if he's not ring chasing and they can afford him and he wants his money, then by all means he's gonna go do it. But if we have Shane Bowen here, Jim Haslett, Anthony Midget, who's also part of this Texans organization coming in here, and Mike Vrabel, we have this sense of balance to an imbalance because Vrabel is that aggressive coach. He's like, oh, you missed this assignment. You got to get on that assignment. Where Anthony Midget is that soft side, like, hey, you missed that assignment. What happened over there, kind of thing. We do hold everybody accountable on this side. And I don't know what Shane Bowen is doing. He's like that medium group. So we need to see more from Shane if we really need to see him develop into that defensive coordinator that we need. Because when he came here, guess who still was on our squad? You said it. Derek Morgan. You want to know something even more bizarre? What's happening this season? You already know. You've already been thinking it too. Urban Meyer. We have Urban Meyer done as Jags now. So now we have not only the Jags to worry about, we have to plan for Green Bay, Oh, Green Bay is something to talk about. Oh, you want me to get in Green Bay? No. You're going to have to come back for that one. Hey, what's up, everybody? So we just got breaking news that J.J. Watt has officially signed with the Arizona Cardinals. $31 million, 23 guaranteed. Who didn't see that coming, right? We all knew it was going that way. Come on, let's be real about that. We knew he was going to chase the money. Ain't no team right now ready to go into a playoff because everybody has hit that cap deficit. So this move, he's protecting himself. He wants to get a home in the desert, and I can understand it. He's from Green Bay, He wants realty out here in the flats. I don't know why Arizona, though. Arizona's just hot as hell. Hot as hell. I'm a neighbor over in New Mexico, so our weather isn't too far off from Arizona. But just to realize that at the end of the day, it all came down to the money. He was in there hooting and hollering, we can't have guys commit to practice. We get paid good money to do this and do that. But you've been injured. That's the key word here. Do you think Arizona got a bargain? Do you think they got a steal? Do you think he will be successful there? And like I said before, an hour and 12 minutes of footage before everything happened. I don't know what happened, but it just decided to record the last 12 minutes. And I didn't even get any sound on it, so I'm still playing with a lot of things here. Get the tech stuff taken care of. It's a work in progress. This is a lot of work. It's really a lot of work. And this off season is crazy right now. I mean, you got to be so in tune and interested in this because we've never really encountered something like this. I mean, besides the NFL strike kind of thing, But who didn't see that was going to be over and done with because of sponsorship, But now we're in a pandemic and we have other things to worry about, other variables, other things that come into play here. And they come into play here. A lot of players only signing 1, 2, 3 year deals. that's the odd thing of it, you know. And now a lot of players are, I wouldn't say ring chasing, but are looking for that opportunity to have their voice heard in a way that'll be, I guess, beneficial to their team. As we know it, Russell Wilson wants out of Seattle.